Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. This is your favorite realtor, Hugo Quintanilla, with the live at 5. But this is not the live at 5. This is the live at 11. So take note. Could not leave you guys without a live today. Unfortunately, we are a little bit later than previously expected. Had a lot of really great time with family today. So, whenever you get a chance and you get the ability to spend time with family, go ahead and do it. So, just celebrating a whole bunch of my family this weekend. Spent some time over at the Winter Vintage Festival with the Days family, and that was a lot of fun. The big turnout, a lot of people, very good times. So, very excited to work with them again next year. But yeah, go check them out online. It's BIM Days, Yesterdays, and BIM Days Sports on Instagram. They have a ton of thrifting and also memorabilia and other sorts of collectibles. I'm really excited. I just picked up a Wii, so I will be hooking that up this weekend and getting to play some Smash Brothers. So, super excited. I hope that all of you are having a great weekend. And actually, today's um, series of questions comes from a series of questions that I received at one of these pop ups. And the question of the hour is going to be misconceptions about the VA loan. I didn't realize how many people were unaware of what is part of their VA loan. And I also was unaware of what's part of a VA loan or what can be done with a VA loan until recently that I took this course for MRP, Military Relocation Professionals. It's a certification that helps you better understand VA and veterans and active service members and the products that are available to them. So when you understand better the products as a realtor, you can understand how you can better serve your clients. So the other day I made a live where I brought up the fact that someone can use their VA loan. And talking to them today, I realized that, hey, they've already used it a couple of times, but they've always used it for themselves and for our primary residence. So we'll talk a little bit about that more in detail about how you can actually use your VA loan for other things. But the most important thing is that you're working with a professional that is familiar with the system and a loan officer that is familiar with VA loans and can work with you to make sure that you're not exceeding these limits and are properly meeting the criteria that you need to, because there are certain things that need to be met before you can qualify. But there are tons of veterans that make huge portfolios from actually having their properties and making a substantial gain from each one of their VA properties. It's predominantly used for a primary residence, very true, but there are certain situations and criterias where it can be applied to help you get a larger home or a home that you might have normally not gotten, like a multifamily unit. As long as the veteran lives inside, it's still applicable. So we'll talk a little bit about more in detail of these things if you guys want to. But today's just going to be a very brief overview. It's a late night, it's been a long day, so just wanted to kind of put up some facts for you guys and let you guys know a general overview of the things that I run into when it comes to the VA loan. Uh, it's a great loan with a lot of misconceptions, and that's really the biggest thing that we have to deal with. Is sometimes the VA loan, well, in the past, the VA loan has gotten a really bad rap for either being very costly or very inefficient or takes its time. Over the last few years, and ever since I would say the last 5 years since I've been in business, the VA loan has gotten a lot more reliable and a lot more easy to work with. Their standards haven't declined as much, but they've been clearer on what they need, and that just makes it easier to work with. So, only for veterans is a huge misconception that we have for the VA loan. Well, it's true that the VA loan are primarily for veterans, they're also available to active duty service members, some reservists, National Guards members, and even certain eligible spouses. So you got to think about that. There might be some qualifications that you might meet that might help. Another misconception that we have is that the VA loan requires perfect credit. This misconception that the VA loan demands impeccable credit. While a good credit score is beneficial, VA loans often have more flexible credit requirements compared to conventional loans, making home ownership more accessible for many. That's really the goal here, to make home ownership accessible to some of our most important servicemen and women that have sacrificed so much. Limited eligibility. Some believe that VA loans are only applicable for certain types of homes or in specific locations. However, VA loans can be used to buy various types of properties, including single family homes, condos, and even multi unit properties within certain conditions. They're not restricted to particular areas either, but they do have certain appraisal and property requirements. Key thing to note: the appraisal and property requirements, making sure that the property is hospitable and it isn't running the risk of harming anyone while living inside of it, and making sure that you're not purchasing a property that is undervalued. The government doesn't want to do that at all, so that's why those requirements are there. Another misconception we have of the VA is that there are high costs and fees, and that these fees can sometimes be exorbitant. In reality, the VA loans often have a competitive interest rate and require don't require a down payment or private mortgage insurance (PMI). That sometimes can stay for the life of the loan. For example, in an FHA loan. And taking away the PMI can significantly reduce the upfront cost compared to other loan types. So something to keep in mind, that if you were thinking about buying it in conventional or using your VA benefits, there's a little bit of extra savings there just for having that benefit. Another huge misconception, and I talked about this earlier, was that the VAA is slow and it can be a complicated, tedious process. Some believe that the VA takes longer to process or even involve more paperwork. While the process may have specific steps that are unique to the VA loans, they don't necessarily take longer than any other type of loan. Additionally, working with experienced lenders who understand VA loans can streamline the process. And I want to emphasize that, because that can really make the difference between how fast a loan can be processed and how quickly, and even how well, the listing agent can be made to understand what the loan is and how it benefits them. Sometimes listing agents get scared because they don't know, and they get scared of the thought of a VA loan. But when you have a loan officer or lender that is knowledgeable in the product and can make them rest assured that this is a good deal either way, it makes the process so much easier. So keeping that in mind, that um, a quality partner, like a lender that's going to be in your corner, that knows this stuff, can make the difference for getting the home. Another misconception about the VA loan system is that it is a one-time benefit. Some individuals believe the VA benefits can only be used once. However, eligible borrowers can use their VA benefits multiple times throughout their lives, as long as they meet certain requirements and loan limits regarding entitlement. Strict property requirements. This is a huge thing that we always see, is that, oh, the VA will only let you buy this property or that property. This misconception is that the VA has strict property condition requirements, making it challenging to purchase older or fixer upper homes. While the property does need to meet certain standards to ensure safety and livability, VA loans are flexible and allow for renovation loans, like the VA renovation loan or the VA energy efficient mortgage, the EEM. Uh, Something to keep in mind is that I've known several people that have used a VA loan to fix up homes and then get them back out on the market. So it's a huge way to make money, especially when you're back, and a very profitable way. You can make money recording content while you're fixing the property. You can just, do it the old fashioned way and fix the property and then sell it. You can fix the property, lease it, live in it and lease it. Tons of options. And we just need to explore them and make sure that we're not taking advantage of your entitlement or your benefits so that you don't lose them. Another misconception is that there are limited loan amounts for the VA. It's often assumed that VA loan limits are low, making them unsuitable for high cost homes. However, VA loans have county specific loan limits that can accommodate higher priced properties. Additionally, in certain cases, borrowers can still secure a VA loan for amounts exceeding these limits by making a down payment. But the down payment does come out of pocket. So the VA does make it so that you don't have to pay a down payment out of pocket. But if you did want to go a little higher in your loan amounts, then that extra down payment can help you bridge that gap. Another misconception is that there are no closing costs with VA. Wouldn't that be great? There's a misconception that VA loans are only for I'm sorry. While it's true that VA loans limit some closing costs, it doesn't mean that they necessarily eliminate all of them. Borrowers might still encounter some closing cost expenses, but VA loans often offer options like seller's commissions or lender credits that can help minimize these costs. And that's something to keep in mind too when you're talking about brokers versus lenders is what are these discounts and how are they giving them to you? Are they deducting points? Are they taking money from their commissions? Is it built into the price? How is that happening? It's always something nice to know. And last but not least, the biggest misconception that we have, again, on top of whether it's a certain type of property, certain type of limit, certain type of number of times that you can use it, is that the VA is not good for investment properties. There's a misconception that VA loans are only for primary residencies. While the primary intent is to help borrowers purchase a home for their use, VA loans can be used for multi unit properties as long as the borrower lives in one of the units as the primary residence. Remember, that's the key for most of these loans is that you need to have at least the primary residence be that property, and two, have that person actually live there. The last thing we want to do is, mortgage fraud. So we want to make sure that we're following the rules and we're maximizing the most benefit that we can for these loans. You have worked so hard for them as a veteran and as a service person. We want to make sure to use these loans. There's tons of people that leave their benefits on the table. So make sure you're using those. And like I said, these are just some of the misconceptions that we get that it's only for veterans, that you need perfect credit, that it's limited eligibility, high costs, and slow, complicated process. We also have misconceptions like it's a one-time benefit, that it has strict property requirements, loan amounts, that there are no closing costs, and then it's not a very good loan for investment properties. But you just heard me tell you that it's good for a whole wide array of service people. You do not need perfect credit. Eligibility can be varied depending on the type of property that you want. It's just we need to make sure that we're working with something that's safe and has good value. Who doesn't want that? I've told you that they actually reduce some of the costs with a VA loan that are associated with buying a home by taking away PMI, which is a huge interest expense and interest fee. And I can tell you that the VA can probably close loans under 45 days, just like any other loan product. So don't need to fret there. You can use it multiple times. It does not have a strict property requirement. It's based off a county. The loan limits are, again, flexible to a degree. And there are reduced closing costs, even though there is that misconception that there are no closing costs, but there are reduced. There are no down payments. That's the key. And I was talking with someone today. Just even that in itself is a huge, huge, huge help. Think about how difficult it is to make 30, $40,000 in 1 year. So something like that is a huge benefit when you have the government giving you this extra help and benefit to get your life started. So, and lastly, that it's not good for investment properties, and it's easily a great tool that can be used with an investment property, especially if you have a multi-unit home. So sky's the limit. You can really take advantage of these loans and these benefits. You just need to know how. And if you want to learn more about how to do it, I'm more than happy to help. My name is Hugo Quintanilla. I am a realtor with Long and Foster, North Potomac, Rockville. My phone number is 301-424-7058. Email is hugo@lnf.com. And my website is yourrealtorhugo.com. If you have any further questions about VA loans or any other loans, feel free and leave them in the comments below. Go ahead and send me a DM or a message. I will get back to you. And yeah, guys, tomorrow we're going to have the recap of the week's stories. So be prepared for that. Super excited. Probably going to be at 5 tomorrow. It all really depends. Got some stuff going on. But stay tuned. There will be an episode. And again, thank you to everyone that tunes in for these lives. I pay attention and I notice. So I cannot wait to see you guys again tomorrow for another episode. And thank you again for viewing this one. If you have any questions about loans or about buying houses, now's the time to do it. Next year, we're really excited for what's on the horizon. So if you've been thinking about buying a home, next year might be the year. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great day. Have a great evening and a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.